miss it? No, we didn't miss it. We're just a little bit late. You know, we had to get it set up on the back end. Hello, everyone. Hello. We're going to go ahead and share it out before we just really start. I want everybody to make sure they pop in here and get this good information. Okay. Okay. This is always the awkward moment when we first start the live that you try to get it shared out and you can never talk and do it at the same time. Okay. I think I got it shared out to enough groups. I don't know about y'all, but okay, how y'all doing?
Doing great, doing wonderful.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. I'm gonna take these glasses off because y'all can see that glare.
Hey, everybody on live.
Hey, world. Look, if you guys are joining us live, and you're looking at it in the shared groups, make sure if you're wanting to leave a comment or say something to us, you got to make sure that you actually click on the original live and post your comment. You do have to make sure you give StreamYard the permission to share your name and your comment, and I'll make sure that we can see those. But let's jump into this today. I'm excited. I know we've been working on this for the last month.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah, if not more, right. I know we all work on it on our own individual times, but I was like, when I got the idea, I was like, okay, I already know who I want to reach out to. Let me see if they on board. Because I talked to each one individually, or I've reached out to each one individually, and I know y'all stuff, so I'm confident that y'all gonna educate us, including me, because I got my pen and my piece of paper ready, because I'm gonna take some notes. So I know we're gonna have some good information for you guys tonight. So just stick with us. Again, if you have some questions about anything that we're going to be talking about tonight, just make sure that you give permission to StreamYard to show your comments, and we will answer those live here tonight. Okay. All right. So first, we are going to go around and we're going to introduce ourselves. And tonight we're going to start out with, let me see, who was that? Was it me? Is I supposed to be the first one? Second one. I got my list here. Well, I can start off. Hey, everybody. I'm LaQuonia. Hey, I'm LaQuonia. Hey, Buchi. Hey, Junnell. Hey, LaQuonia. Hey, Aundrea. Hey, Facebook world. I'm the owner of JCD Forward. We provide business support services and credit repair. We gear that to individuals, business owners, because it actually goes hand in hand. Running a business and actually having your personal credit in a good position goes hand in hand, whether you know it or not. So we'll assist individuals that are looking to get their business formed with the state of Texas or any other of the 50 states. If you need assistance with getting set up with the IRS, getting your EIN number, your DUNS number, trademark, anything that you need for a business, for your business to run and support, we can provide that, as well as credit repair. So that's a little bit about JCD Forward. I'm going to hand it over to Junnell. So come on, let us know about you.
All right, guys. My name is Wright. I'm the owner and CEO of Wright Care Benefits. It is a insurance agency. Here we specialize in healthcare and also life insurance and retirement. We're doing Obamacare. So we specialize in Obamacare for those who are seeking health care with pre-existing conditions. We also do group coverage. Our bread and butter is Medicare. Yes, it's Medicare season right now. So you see me in the office working late because it's non-stop enrollment time for both affordable health care and also Medicare. Not only do we do that, we help you guys with your life insurance, mortgage insurance, all right, retirement. I don't want to say IRAs, but we do IULs. which also helps with retirement. And I guess we'll get more in detail with what I do as time goes on, guys, for this. But that's pretty much what we do here. We have a good group of licensed brokers is what we are, because we work for multiple carriers such as United, Humana, Aetna, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, you name it, we got it. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But I'll let you know everything else about it as well.
Yeah, because I got some questions for you. I've been testing the waters out over these last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to collect some questions.
Okay.
I got a little something for you.
Got you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, we are excited to have you. Next up is going to be LaQuonia.
Hello, everybody. I am LaQuonia Shantae. I specialize in helping women, particularly, create home-based businesses in the network marketing space. If you're not familiar with what that is your companies that have probably gotten a bad name, like Herbalife, Mary Kay, TLC. I mean, there's tons and tons of network marketing companies out there. But what I do and how I set myself apart from others in the industry is I teach women to create a personal brand in front of those businesses. So you're not out here just being a company mascot, but you're actually creating something that you actually own, but you're also building a residual income on the back end, which is very important, especially for times like this where a lot of people are forced to work at home. So right now, the network marketing space, the home-based business space is exploding. So where most people are struggling and they're in panic mode, people that have positioned themselves in the network marketing space are actually seeing a major increase in their businesses and being able to bring in income without having to go out and jeopardize their health in order to bring in income.
Ain't that something? Look, in a darn pandemic where most of us are stuck at home, a lot of us still got a lot of money to spend.
Right. Absolutely. And so that is my passion, is to just show women how to tap into what's unfamiliar and create their own economy, because you do not have to go and work 50 or 60 hours for somebody else to be able to live the life that you desire and that you deserve.
Yes, Lord. Okay. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to live that lifestyle and not be a slave all my life.
Right. So it's all mindset. It's just making a decision that, you know what, I am capable of creating my own dreams and goals, because you're either going to leverage this or you're going to be leveraged on a job. And so you have to make that decision on what side of the coin that you want to be on. And so that's basically what I do.
Okay. Yes, we all need that. We definitely be the younger generation. If we get to this younger generation a lot sooner, like somebody should have got to us, I think we'll be okay. We'll be okay. If we would have known what we know now back then, I think we're where we're supposed to be at, but I think we may have been a little bit closer to where we want to be.
Right. But the millennials are the future, so we still have the opportunity to close that gap.
Yes, because these little ones, my 2-year-old and my 6-year-old, they are incredible with their technology. They can tell. Look, they try to teach their grandmother how to use her iPhone. It's like, but yes, absolutely, they are the next generation. We still have a chance, so we can't give up on them yet. We just got to come early. All right. Well, I got some questions for you. So we're going to get into more of what you do in just a moment. But next up, we have Miss Aundrea. Hey, Miss Aundrea.
Hello. Yes, hi. I'm Aundrea Love, and my company is Express Tax and Financial Services. We specialize in financial literacy. So we basically provide everything from tax preparation for the individual and the small business, as well as personal and business credit. So teaching small business owners how to actually establish business credit and learn how to receive purchasing power, as well as insurance and business funding. So We provide life insurance, assisting, like Junnell was saying, individuals with IULs, and learning how to leverage against your life insurance policy so that you can become your own banker. So basically, you can learn how to invest in real estate, start a business through your life insurance policy. And then when it comes to the business funding, of course, we help small business owners obtain capital for their business, whether it's working capital or if they need funds. Let's say they got a government contract and they need funds to get their project started before the government actually pays them. So that's our specialties. But more so importantly, the financial literacy piece is key, because I think a lot of small business owners miss the fact that having your taxes paid, having credit, and then also creating generational wealth with your business is needed. Because how are you going to sustain throughout a pandemic like what we're going through right now if you don't know how to create generational wealth? So that's what we stress to all of our clients and try to really educate them. So yes, I am here to assist and answer any questions that may be for the small business owner.
All right. Well, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We're excited to have you here as well. I see a comment on here, but it's on the actual Facebook page, but I don't think they gave permission, so I can't see it in here. I'm gonna have somebody take a look and tell me what the comment is, if it's anything. But thank you so much. Next up, we have Mr. Buchi. Hi, Mr. Buchi. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Hi, everybody. My name is Buchi Nwosi. I'm with GTA Mortgage. We are a mortgage brokerage. We work with residential, commercial properties, as any type of real estate. You want it, we fund it. Today, we're going to really touch on. Is that me?
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's me.
We're going to touch on a few things when it comes to as my previous host just stated, financial literacy is kind of goes hand in hand with our business. Being a business owner, how to properly fund a property, the steps you need to take now as a business owner to keep you keep you ready for whenever you need to make a big purchase or you need to leverage and borrow some money. That's what we're going to touch on, and lending, financing. That's all I do.
Okay. Good. So now we got the introductions out the way, right? Let's jump into some of these questions and let's break down like what we do a little bit more in our businesses when it comes to the entrepreneur and the business owner, and someone that's starting out. A lot of times when people come to me and they're asking for my assistance with getting their business started, doing their paperwork, a lot of them are not sure what type of business that they want to even open, like what type of company. And most of them just, say, I want to open up a business. But when you actually ask them, well, what type of business? Are you going to have partners? Is it just going to be you? Is it going to be private? A lot of them don't know the details about or the differences of what type of business that they can offer. I mean, that they can actually form in not only Texas, but any other state. More than not, I have people when they say, I want to do an LLC. And my question is to them is, okay, have you looked at an LLC? Do you know the difference between a single member LLC and a multi-member LLC? Because there is a difference. And then once you pick out, if you have a partner, it's going to be the multi-member. Once you get the LLC, do you want to have it switch? Do you want to switch the classifications to like an S corp? And then that's sometimes where they're lost. Actually ask them, well, how are you going to have this set up as far as classification with the IRS? Because at the end of the day, none of us want to get in trouble with the IRS. So we want to make sure that you set up that foundation right and you have that information. Aundrea, I know you do the business taxes. Like, what's the difference between when it comes to taxes on a sole proprietor LLC and a multi-member LLC?
I would say with a sole proprietorship, you're basically just writing off your expenses, which is like, your standard business expenses. Maybe you're using your home for business use or your car for business use. When you're a sole proprietorship, you possibly don't have a actual location. You may be operating at home. So a lot of times the deductions are just small. You're just writing off like utilities, small items, versus when you are like an S corporation, I believe that's what you're saying, or an LLC, you may have more expenses that you can write off, like capital expenses, employee expenses, where you're actually paying employees to be a part of the organization, and you have them on payroll, so you would have more expenses versus a sole proprietorship. And it really just depends on the business itself and what type of revenue they're bringing in, based on what type of expenses they would file and what designation they would have.
Okay. Buchi, you had Aundrea, you just said something when they say when you said right off your home. I think you mentioned it once before when we talked, and then I seen a couple of articles where a lot of entrepreneurs are becoming business owners and they're going out purchasing homes and they're actually renting those homes out to companies for their retreats and things like that. Like, Buchi, have you run into that a lot? Like, what's the steps if someone wanted to get a home in their business name for those type of purposes? Like, what can a entrepreneur or business owner, what steps can they take in order to try to do something like that?
With the business owners, is the main meat and potatoes of your income. Basically, when you're lending or when you're asking for a loan from a lender, the main things that are considered are the three. We call it the CIA: it's credit, income, and assets. So the first thing we need to do is keep our credit strong. I can't stress that factor enough, because a lot of entrepreneurs, we've all been in the same boat. We need credit to grow, and sometimes we over leverage ourselves before we're ready to get to the big stuff, what you really need that credit for. But you have a whole bunch of little things in your credit, and that holds your score down. It holds what we call your debt to income ratio down as well. So I'd say the key thing is keeping your credit score high and filing your taxes properly. Now, there's a saying in the business where you can only cheat one at a time. You can only cheat the bank or cheat the IRS. You can't cheat them both in 1 year. You can't write off everything in taxes and expect to get a good loan. Now, we do have loans that are structured where you don't need to show any income. But when you do those type of loans, what we're here to do is basically give all the entrepreneurs that are on this space a good start. It's not really about how they can manage. It's about starting them off well. And starting off well means lower interest rates, lower down payments, and all that. That only comes when you have more documentation to show. So that brings us into the credit space, where Ms. Aundrea works. You want to file proper taxes, because in the Schedule C portion of your tax returns, if you look at it, as personally as a business owner, you will always get that Schedule C, the profit and loss part of the statement. Now, it's kind of unfortunate for business owners, but it's also a good thing as well. When you're employed as an employee receiving a W-2, they consider it gross. Now, when you're self-employed, what the lenders would do, as soon as we get a copy of your tax returns, we just flip into the Schedule C portion, go into the profit and the losses. Now, the only part that we will consider will be your profit after your losses. That's your net. And that way, we'll take that net and we divide that. You can do this yourself if you want to know as an entrepreneur, because you always have fluctuating income as an entrepreneur, as we all know. So if you ever want to determine what are you worth, what is your monthly income, true monthly income, you take that net and you divide it by 12. And that's what gives us your monthly income. So that's why you don't want to constantly report too many losses, because yes, you're saving some money up front, but you're literally robbing Peter and paying two Pauls, because when you start using and you realize you can't use that income and you have to find different ways around it, those things will come with the higher interest rates, with the higher down payments and stuff. So you want to always keep that part, keep it honest, report less, and actually, pay your taxes. That way, especially in a year where you look like, okay, the next 2 years I'm going to build this business and I need that income. You can go back to reporting all the losses you want to and doing all that, but I would say give yourself in those 2 years, pay your taxes, have enough income after the losses, so that way you can, move forward and get the type of investment homes and what have you, and rent them out. I usually have my investment purchases, entrepreneurs and other businesses, but they use this as a supplemental income. They'll buy, 2 or 3 made townhomes at once, or just one. Whichever way you want to start. And some people don't even have homes for themselves. They still rent where they live, but they see a nice townhome and they buy it because they know a family is going to want to be in there, especially in times like this where everybody's working from home. What happened was when the shutdown happened, everybody thought the housing market was going to crash. But because of the stay-at-home orders, the opposite happened. We had a boom. Now you have properties that can't stay in the market because you have entrepreneurs buying it up to rent to people that can't afford to buy, and the people that can afford to buy looking to settle down. Now you've seen the need for a bigger space, more room, rather than being cooped up wherever you are. So those things actually drove up the market. So where we find a lot of investment buyers coming in. So there's just one thing I always want investors and entrepreneurs to keep in mind: keep that credit strong and report true with your taxes. At least give it 2 years. Give yourself those 2 years. Pay the taxes, and you can go back to whatever it is you want to do, with your taxes after that. But now, especially we're in November, we're going into another tax season. You start considering what you're going to save up, going into a payment plan with the IRS. That's fine too. That way you can spread out the payments and, take advantage of your good income.
Mm-hmm. I what you just said too. Boy, I didn't know. Like I said, like I was telling you guys last night, I didn't know about taking all them business losses, how my taxes was going to look when it come time for me to purchase this home. But yeah, I'm telling them, no, I actually make more than that. Like, look at this information and not that. Look at this. But yes, I told you, like I said last night, Aundrea, I'm gonna get with you this year, because this year I'm gonna do it right. I'm doing it right.
And I will add this: what we've been seeing trending over the past month or two. When your credit score as a self-employed person is high, when I'm talking about high credit score, you're talking about 720 and above, even 740, which you can do with good credit fixing and getting with a credit repair specialist. Anybody nowadays, as long as you can afford it, you should be able to get great credit. And when you're up there, usually they would ask for 2 years worth of this information. But what we're seeing now is when we see people that we'll see it in the 740s, but we're also seeing it in the 720s. Those higher credit score people are only needing 1 year because it's an automated system. So when we run it in through the system, the automated system by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will tell us what we need. Now, a lot of times we need 2 years. Now, over the month, we've been seeing 1 years on a great credit. So this is how the good credit is also helping you on that end. Now you don't need to, wait 2 years or go back into your back taxes after reporting those losses and, changing it up and paying taxes. You can, like Mr. Toy, you can just do that for 2020, and your credit is good enough, would only need 2020, and that's it. You're where you need to be. So they all work in hand. The CIA, everybody keep that in mind: your credit, your income, your assets, basically your savings. That's the key. Not that CIA. The CIA that works for us, not against us.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. All right, Mr. Junnell. Now, when it comes to insurance, can you tell us like what is some, because I know me, because I can only speak for myself. I'm a starting entrepreneur. I'm still getting my feet wet in this. But we don't have the benefits. And sometimes, you know, when we're out there looking for insurance, whether it's medical, life, anything, you know, you kind of get lost with all the information out there. Like, can you recommend, like, what's some good plans or what's some good avenues that someone like myself can take to find some insurance that works for me and is not comparable to the community hospital insurance? Because y'all know how that is.
Before we go on, your post that where we're sharing it is not public, so people can't see it.
It's on my page.
Yeah, but the post is for friends only. So
is it? Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
I
So
just changed it.
I can't see it.
Just changed it. Thank you, ma'am. Because I be switching that tank thing back and forth. I let them see what I want.
Okay, yeah, it's good now.
You got it. Okay, cool. My bad, you guys. But yeah, what is some good insurance like for an entrepreneur, small business owner that's starting out? Oh, hold on. I think you muted. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there it is. All right. So insurance can be very, very difficult for some that don't do it a lot. I remember when I was not an insurance broker, and I used to be like, what? Deductible, co-insurance, copay. I just want dental. You know what I mean? And a lot of people always say that. So good companies, which they're all good companies. It all depends on what you're looking for. You know, you have some like United Healthcare, which is one of the top of the line health insurance companies out there. Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield. A lot of these plans that you're talking about as county, those are discount programs. You know, each hospital has its own discount program. A lot of people only know about the county discount program if they can't afford insurance. However, insurance can be affordable for anyone's budget. It's all about doing a needs analysis. Okay. The good thing about the affordable healthcare, they're making it affordable for some. Okay. I do want to mention that. It is affordable. Some pay $0. Some pay $20. Some pay $15, you know, maybe $100, maybe $200. It all depends on your level of income. But as far as what carrier is good for yourself, if you don't want to wait in long lines, they're all good. It all depends on the network. So here at our agency, we do what's called a needs analysis, one, and we located insurance that fits your need. Everybody's need is different. Okay, so you may need health insurance for high blood pressure or diabetes. Someone may need it for cancer, whatever the case may be. You may not like going to the hospital, but Mrs. Jones loved the county hospital. I meant to say, you know. So we just find what network works best for you, and we stick to that network, and we find a plan. Then we look at your budget. Okay, so what can you afford? What can you not afford? Are you do you like co-insurance or do you like co-pays? Okay, because that's a huge difference. And we just look at it that way. A lot of people don't know the difference between co-insurance and co-pays.
Right.
Okay, right. Yeah. So what it is whenever you see the word co-insurance, you know that you have an unknown amount that you have to pay. Let's talk about 20%. Most co-insurance insurances are 80-20 rule. We'll cover you for 80%. You're responsible for 20%. That's the typical health insurance rule. Okay, we pay 80. You pay 20%, but 20% of what?
Right.
You don't know. That's the unknown.
Right.
So you can win for all right. You pay 20%. And a surgery can be $20,000. Surgery can be, $15,000, and you're responsible for 20%. So at the agency, we are more for co-pays because co-pays, that's amount that's set. in stone. When I go to the doctor, I know I pay a $0 copay. I know when I go, if I have to have an outpatient surgery, I pay, $100 copay minute amount or whatever the case may be. So, but it all depends on that need, because the co-insurance could be cheaper than the co-payment. A lot of people don't know about deductibles. You guys say, hey, I got a plan over here that has a high deductible. It's a low premium. Okay? So that's how you can get, I don't want to say caught, because I'm insurance all the way. I think we all need it. This is my passion. But you got to start looking at deductibles.
Yeah.
Here, I got a $5,000 deductible, and you'll flip out. Oh, I got to pay $5,000 before anything happens. In theory, yes, you have a deductible, and you got to satisfy that deductible. However, that doesn't apply to your doctor visits, your specialists, and things of that nature. Now, if you have a major surgery that's $30,000, yeah, before they cover you, you are responsible for that deductible and pay that deductible before the insurance carrier covers you. Mm-hmm. And that's for people that may have a surgery. I mean, we all may have a surgery, but for just expecting a surgery to happen. So we can go on and on about how these plans are. There's thousands and thousands, but if you know the basics, what a deductible, a co-insurance, a co-payment, a premium, pre-existing. Go ahead. Somebody got a question?
No, they just waving.
Oh, okay. So if you know the basics of insurance, you'll be good off with it. You'll be good off for it. As far as myself, and I can't see the little names, but the young lady that does insurance as well, we gotta know. Right, we gotta at least know the basics of how this works. Your premium, you know what I mean? If you know that, guys, then you can pick a plan. You definitely need our help, for the fine print. But you can say, hey, Junnell, I found a plan with a $15 premium, but it has a $3,000 deductible. And you'll know what that means. Oh, I got to pay this before the plan kicks in. Okay, we're like, absolutely. But let's shop around and see if something's better for you. When it goes to life insurance, everybody freaks out about that. Hey, life insurance, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. I got this pre-existing condition. No one will take me, blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on and on. That's not true, guys. All right? We got plans out there that are guarantee issue, meaning we ask you no health questions, okay, and get you covered. All right? But there is a clause, okay, that's in that type of plan. In that plan, you have a 2-year waiting period. The insurance is actually taking insurance out of you. You want to get insurance on yourself, so let us get insurance on you as well, meaning you got to live 2 years before we cover you for anything, okay? So within that 2 years, if Mrs. Jones doesn't pass away, going into that third following year, the insurance carrier will cover her. Those are our guaranteed modified insurance plans that we have. Okay? Mortgage insurance. Like the gentleman that does mortgages, that helps out with mortgage. We do mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is nothing but term life. That's all it is. Endowment. And we can go over that a million times, but mortgage insurance is term life. All right, that covers that person if they were to pass away to pay off the mortgage.
I'm glad you had mentioned that. That was one of the questions that someone had. What is the difference between term life and whole life?
Oh, yeah. And that's a really good question. It's just what it states, guys. Whole life covers you for your whole life. Term life covers you for a specific term. Depending on what term you choose. It can be 20 years. It can be 10 years. It can be 30 years. But it's just for a term. Whole life has some perks to it, such as an investment. All right? You can borrow money from a whole life. All right? Majority of term life, if not all term life, you cannot borrow money from. However, you do have some term life that has what's considered a ROP option. When you see the word ROP, That's return of premium. Meaning, okay, I didn't die in 30 years. So can I get my money back? And the insurance carriers will say, absolutely. Here's all the money back that you paid for 30 years. So it is possible to say, hey, I invested, I didn't die. Can I get my investment back?
No, that's right.
And they can, and they absolutely can. They do have that option as well. But yeah, the difference is whole life covers you for a whole life, and it comes with some more perks that we can go into more detail with. And term life covers you for a specific term. For example, 10 to 20 to 30 years.
Okay. Because I thought that was a good question as well. Because I remember someone reading or hearing somewhere about the investment part, but I didn't know if that was term life, whole life. So when that question was brought up, I was like, okay, so yes, I need to know because I probably need to look into that.
Right. Yeah. It's a very good investment, guys. And don't think because you have pre-existing conditions, you're not eligible for this type of coverage. You are. A lot of people will give up on insurance because they feel as if they're not eligible or their pre-existing condition will disqualify them. That's not true. I always tell my clients, let's get you in the door when it comes to affording the insurance. And as you need more insurance, we can add on. But let's get you in there. Okay? Let's stop all these GoFundMe. Okay.
I need to get in there because I don't want to do the GoFundMe. I'm telling, don't let this social media stuff fool y'all. I'm living
Yes. Y'all stop GoFundMe accounts. Stop that. Why harass your friends and social media and everybody that to help you out with a funeral, a burial, when you can just pay pennies to $1. You know, $10 to $15. $30.
They don't help you out when you was here. They ain't gonna help you out when you gone.
Exactly. Yeah. And there are more detailed policies. For instance, like IULs, and I won't get into it. I'll let my friend talk about some IULs. However, yeah, I know she do. IULs are very unique, and we take a lot of people that's on 401ks and put them on IULs, okay? Because they're so much better, and they follow the market, where you get all the advantages and no disadvantages, okay? You get all the perks when the stock market is going up and staying steady and all that good stuff, but when it drops, guess what? Your IUL is in good hands. And you can, you can be a millionaire off an IUL. You can take a lot of money out of an IUL, guys. And for entrepreneurs like ourselves, those are the investments literally that we got to have. Because at times you can set up you can do what's considered it's on the tip of my tongue, I'm sorry. You can, I've been working all day, guys.
I heard you. I got you.
You can do an illustration to where in maybe 15 years you want to take $50,000 out of your IUL. You can do that. You want to put money in for your child's college tuition. That IUL is a perfect gift for you to take money out and pay off college tuition for your child or buy them a new car when they graduate. Okay, you can pull that money out and it comes with interest. But as that money builds, now I'm not gonna get it because I love IUL. It's a really good investment. I mean, if not the best investment anyone can do, guys. It runs hand in hand with annuities, and it just goes on and on when it comes to this life insurance and health insurance because it's so much. But in a nutshell, guys, we have to invest right. And just like my friend said, the gentleman said, we got to make sure our credit is A1. Trust me, I've been working on that for a minute. My credit is finally where it needs to be, so I know the importance of it. So the investments with the IUS, and I'm going to leave that to you because I don't want to go into more detail. That's your expertise. But we just specialize mainly in the life and also retirement for our seniors, which is considered Medicare. All right. And that's where we make our bread and butter at, guys.
Well, because I was trying to get in contact with you before this live, before putting this together, but I need to get some stuff set in place. I'm glad in some areas. I am. I'm gonna be honest. I am lacking in some areas.
Let's go. Let's get it. And this is open enrollment. So guys, we got until December 15th to knock this out the park to get your Obamacare. But keep in mind, a lot of people are scared, saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna get my coverage in time." I do this all year, so I'll be able to get you insurance if you need it.
Okay, well, I definitely need it. So I definitely need it. Yeah. Well, I want to get into the queen here. I'm gonna call her the queen because listen, I done been following her journey from being the company mascot, as she said, to now being like the boss lady and boss woman that she is. So I got my pen and piece of paper because I really do need some help with marketing, branding, and advertisement. I told you last night I'm starting to, I have my list, but now I'm starting to actually work my list. But a lot of people don't know in business that when you're starting out, you have to build those lists so you can actually get back in contact with those customers. You don't want them to be a one-time customer client. Like, so what are some things?
Salesforce is a good tool.
Oh, you know what?
Salesforce. I mean, you can create your own CRM if you're very diligent, but if you're something you need assistance with, I would say try Salesforce. I personally don't use Salesforce anymore, but I know it helped me out a lot when I was starting up to follow up with clients. Now we have different systems that we work with, and we have processors that do all that for us. But Salesforce, good.
Yeah,
good
she teaches like she says, women have to build their network marketing. And I looked at one of your lives. You use Aweber. I use Active Campaign and CRM. I mean, in Zoho. But like LaQuonia, like, why is it? Because it was a question, and I got some questions here. One of the questions is, what are some things a person can do to market/advertise for free or at a low cost?
Okay, so first things first, like everything that you guys, the other entrepreneurs on this panel are contributing, those things are most important first. The insurance, the LLC, setting the foundation for your business is absolutely critical. And what I've noticed, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 8 years in the network marketing space. And what I've learned is that a lot of people get caught up in social media, and they think that is starting a business by setting up an Instagram page and putting pictures and, you know, going and taking stock photos of other people's pictures and saying, hey, I got this on hand. That is not building a business. That is not building a brand. And so I just want to clear that out first, because now, because I'm not at a place in my business where I need every client, I am very intentional about who I work with. So if somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I'm ready to market and brand my business, I'm like, no, you're not. Do you have your LLC in place? Have you, do you even know who your target market is? Do you know what problem that you are looking to solve? And you touched on a point earlier, and you said that when people come to you, they like, I want to start a business, but they don't know what type of business that they want to start. And that's because they haven't did market research. They have not done their due diligence. All they want to do is make money. Right. And if you are in business solely for the purpose of making money, you are going to be out of business really fast. You have to find something that you are passionate about and that you would truly do when you are not getting paid, like do Zooms like this to provide value and information to other people. So marketing and branding is absolutely critical, but it is not the most important part of your business unless you have established the foundation. Once the foundation is established, then you can say, okay, I want to create my logo. I want to create my website. But a lot of times people create a website, a logo, all of these things, and then it has absolutely no effect on the target market that they are truly trying to attract. So those things are important, like the color of your logo and all of that stuff that we tend to put a lot of focus on. Those are not income producing activities. And you have not done your due diligence. And a lot of times what I realize is that people, like I said, they only want to make the money, And a true sustainable business is going to be based on a problem that you are solving for other people. And so if you have not identified that problem that you are wanting to solve for other people, then you are truly just doing yourself a disservice and the people that you are out here marketing to, because you haven't even truly, sat down and wrote down, how am I going to help people? Like, I know that my target market is women who desire to build a home-based business. And I used to be out here posting tea and all this stuff over my page. And I realized that, those people are already rich. Those people already established their brand. And here I am out here pushing somebody else's brand. And if they shut my back office down because I say something on my page that is not in correlation with what they stand for, then I don't have a business. And so if you are in network marketing, especially, then you want to make sure that you establish a brand in front of that network marketing business. And knowing who you want to serve is like critical. So when it comes to the marketing and branding standpoint of your business, the first step is saying, you know what, who do I want to help? Do I want to help women that have been in domestic situations? I want to help them create income. Do I want to help men who are just getting out of prison? Like, you got to have a purpose behind your brand, or it will not be sustainable at all. So I think a lot of people come into this based on what they see on social media, thinking, oh, I can just sit at home on my computer and make money. Look, this is not for the weak or the meek. It requires a lot of tenacity, and the failures. A lot of people, what I see is that they try to avoid the failures. They want to get all this information to avoid failing, when honestly the success is in the failure. I would not be who I am today if I had not failed my way through.
Yes.
Like, so you can't be afraid to fail. You got to try some stuff. You got to spend some money. You got to invest in some stuff. You got to take some courses. You can't just get in a Facebook group. And I posted about this the other day. You can't just get in these free Facebook groups and think that you're going to get all the game that you need in order to build $1 million brand. You're not, and so it took me, like, this year alone, I've probably invested over $6,000 in coaching and mentorship. And when I say about building a business, you have to work on yourself more than you work on the business. With network marketing, it is truly personal development with a compensation plan attached. You are never going to succeed your personal growth. If you are not growing mentally, if you are not working on your body, like, it is a total package. Entrepreneurship, you got to work on your mindset. Your health is important, just having your affairs in order, because with an entrepreneur, we don't know how much we're going to get paid. We might get paid $1,000 this week, and next week we might not make nothing. And we still have to have that same drive and ambition and passion as if we made $1,000 this week or $5,000 this week and we didn't make anything.
Yeah.
If you're going on a job, if you show up and do the bare minimum for that 40 hours, you're going to get a check. But entrepreneurship is not that way. You truly have to have more behind your business than just the fact that you want to make some money and don't want to work for anybody.
Yes, I did a lot.
Can I add to Ms. LaQuonia's point, because she made some really solid points that kind of reminded me of myself when I just started my first business. And I would say, when I started my first business, this is my third business. When I started my first business, I was 23. So it was I was in that wilderness of not knowing my target audience. I didn't have a mentor. That was another. If you can find a mentor, get one. And if it means you incentivize that mentor, do that. Trust me, it works and it helps, because that information that you might be paying for, because I told when I got into the mortgage business, I learned from my mistake from my first business, and I was like, no, I'm not even getting in there until I have a mentor. And I incentivized my mentor. I was like, look, whatever I close, you get a percentage, just straight up. And he wasn't even part of my brokerage. Now guess what? He is my business partner. in my company right now. So this is somebody that has been in the business 20 years before I got into the business. So I use that, and he also taught me what another point that Miss LaQuonia pressed on, knowing your target audience. I was never one for target audience. Believe that you set it and you let it grow, and that was a big mistake because what he told me was like, look at yourself first of all. Now, when you see yourself, who are the people directly around you? Who's your community? How can you service that community before you start going out into other communities where other people are servicing them of same likeness? It's maybe it doesn't have to be a color thing, which usually it is, but it's also like just the general community where and knowing the mindset of those people helps you market to them better. So you see, once you have your target audience and your focus, then the marketing gets better because it's not generalized. It's a very direct thing. Like, as you said, entrepreneurs, we're used to losing money. Everybody here doing this seminar, we're not getting paid for this. This is all time. He's in his office, I'm in my office, it's almost 8 o'clock, but these are the sacrifices you make. You don't come in as an entrepreneur because you like laying in your bed and just chilling. That's the goal eventually, but you have to work harder than the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5er can be brain dead and just wake up with a hangover and just go into the office, slouch for a few hours and leave. Their money is guaranteed. Yours, you generate it. So targeting your audience, knowing how to reach them, servicing a problem that it's actually in the community. Black home ownership was a thing that I needed to, everything black is beautiful. So, but we did not have ownership of ourselves because everything is leased and, everything is over leveraged. So my thing was to qualify as many black people and give them the advantages as any other person that walks into a big bank that looks the right way for America, and then they get these little advantages and they get advice for free and all that. We don't. We usually, when we walk into somewhere and maybe you don't look the part, it's like a yes no thing and that's it. Nobody's trying to give you an advantage. So I came into this business to be the advantage for my people. So it's like the little game and thing that somebody like, well, go back and do this and come back when you're ready. Like what Miss Latoya, we spoke on. I was like, okay, this is how you should moving forward. This is how you want to do things. This is how you want to structure things. That little, we call it game advice, whatever you want to call it. That's where I came in. I was like, look, I'm not going to worry about the income for now. I thank God I'm blessed and income will come. What I'm going to worry about is the servicing. Am I impacting my community? I go to seminars. I come to Dallas just to go to mortgage seminars to learn. I'm learning every week, every day, trying to learn something new so I can give it out. And then I know once you give it out, the people, the clients, all that stuff comes, as long as you're providing a service that your community actually needs and you're directing it to them and challenging them to rise up, they will. A lot of people just want to be challenged. The fact that you are of similar background, they can listen to you. It's like a child. They always say children would learn more from their direct elder, kid than they will from the actual parent, because that's the person that closely mirrors their scenarios. So they want to see how that person is walking, how that person is jumping, and then they learn those things before they go into what the parent has to teach. It's the same thing with us. I want the people of my community to feel comfortable with me, so that you ask the hard questions and get hard answers or soft answers, or create that roadmap. And I don't market my business actually directly. People come to me because they know we have the mental capacity, we have what the tools it takes to get you where you need to be. But that's not what I don't market that. I do more counseling, I do more advice, because me seeing black ownership rise, when we get the numbers, makes me proud. I feel like I'm impacting that scenario. Not saying I don't lend to other races and stuff, but that's my passion project. I'm like, all the houses I fund, my name is going to be on that. Is going to be on those documents, and I'm proud of every single one of them. So I can say that this is how I impacted my community. So I don't want to go too much because this is not my specialty. I'm just chiming in, but knowing your target audience, finding out what the problem is. What problem can you fix? That's a good way to look at things. So
yeah, absolutely, it is. Like you really, hit the nail on the head with that, because I tell my team, and a lot of them are on here tonight, is focus on impact instead of income. If you focus on the impact, the income is a byproduct of the impact. So a lot of times, and that's hard though, because if I'm here and my light's about to get cut off and my car note is past due, it's hard for me to really focus on other people, but you have to. Like it's non-negotiable. You really have to set your own needs aside and say, you know what? If I help enough people get what they want, I'm going to get what I need by default. And so
that's what you be saying when you say that lead with value.
Lead with value. I am on that. Lead with value and lead with authenticity. Like me, I am a nerd. But I'm also a reformed hood chick too. And I never let my past be something that I try to sweep under the rug. I let people know, look, I was a dope dealer. That's what I was. And network marketing was the only thing that I could see that would allow me to create the income that I had become accustomed to without having to really sacrifice that lifestyle. And so I made a decision that, look, I want to help the drug dealers. I want to help people that have blemishes on their background and that see no way out of the hood. Like I really picked myself up and took myself out of the hood and made a decision that this will not be my life. I will not be a product of my environment. And so what I wake up every day is try to be relatable and be authentic and let people know, yeah, I used to do that, but look at me now. And if I can do it, it is absolutely possible for you too. You just have to respect your process and you just got to make a decision that you are going to change. And sometimes it requires for you to change the people that are around you. And that's the hardest part, is leaving people behind that are not ready to step into their next dimension and change. Like change is the hardest thing, but it is something that we cannot avoid if we want to go to the next level. So if you're wanting to build a business and you're wanting to build a brand and you're wanting to market yourself authentically. And you have to say, look, this is where I used to be, and this is where I can help you get. And your brand will grow by default, because people will say, oh, you know what? I don't mind giving her my money because I know that she's truly wanting to help me become better. And that's what people look for, and with social media, so many scams out there, so many of these coaches that's popping up overnight, and they have absolutely no substance. They do a good photo shoot. They on a yacht, they on Instagram, they look good, they got the fake designer on, and you thinking that they are really going to help you go to the next level. But when you're on the phone with them, they have
the yacht didn't even leave the dock.
Buchi and LaQuonia, you say, having a mentor is really important. And like you said,
it's non-negotiable.
It's not.
People are looking for the shortcut. Mentorship is the shortcut.
It is. Because trust me, I went through going through a mentor, you make less mistakes, eventually in the beginning, because you will make mistakes. As Ms. LaQuonia said, to be a good entrepreneur is to know how to fail gracefully. Like you have to be able to grow from all your failures. You have to invest and watch that money burn and be like, man, you have to be at the brink sometimes. I mean, I've had my account in the negative and I still have to pay for, something. It's like I'm holding out and I need to pay for this to get this work done and I'll make money eventually. But paying out, that risk and all that, you hedge that a little by having mentorship and guidance with somebody that's in that field.
I'm looking at that business bank account like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
With the tax sake, so we want an explosion in our business. We want to know how to run Facebook ads. We want to do all of these things. But I tell my students, are you even prepared for what you're praying for? You want me to help you get all these sales and all of these leads, but for one, you don't have a way to capture these leads. You don't have a way to sustain and actually maintain this client base because you are not prepared. There are so many steps that come before actually building the brand. Like it takes probably 6 months to really launch a successful business. The business actually starts before you even post about it on social media. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, but you be so quick to want to throw you make the logo, you think of the name, and it's on the same day. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You have to focus. You got to talk with people like Aundrea and say, hey, okay, when I make this $100,000, how do I properly allocate my funds and pay my taxes quarterly? You know, I made my first 6 figures in network marketing in 2016. And then I got a IRS bill that said I owed $43,000. And I was like, what? Like, what? All the money that you make is not money. When you are in a job situation, they take their money off the top. But when you are an entrepreneur, you have to be disciplined to say, you know what? I made $100, but only 80 of that is mine. I need to put 20 back to the side because I got to pay these people their taxes. So I'm gonna move out of the way. Speaking of that, and let Aundrea go ahead and talk about the importance of taxes, because y'all want to make a lot of money, but you have to really be prepared for what you're praying for.
I do have a question that popped up live. It kind of goes with you and Aundrea. They asked, when should you get an LLC, and should one make a certain income before starting? That kind of really leads more on your end, because you can start an LLC whenever you really want to, but financially, you know, when it comes to the tax situation, that's when you want to think about, like, should I go ahead and file it and things like that. So, like, Aundrea, is there a certain income level that a person needs to be at to properly file those business returns? That, you know,
I wouldn't say so. I would say, as far as filing as an LLC, that's literally just your classification. That's you being a limited liability corporation, meaning you're reducing your liability from being sued or something of that sort by another company. As far as filing the taxes, your income, you want to be making the income. Like, if you're only making $600, you're just filing as a sole proprietorship. You know, like, let's say you were a handyman and you did some work for somebody, they've been paying you cash, and you made $600 this year. You know, that's nothing I would file an LLC for. But once you start making a substantial amount of income on a monthly basis, that's when you will want to start filing. You will want to obtain an LLC designation. That's when you're taking your business up to another level, where you may eventually start hiring employees. You may have other expenses, or you're purchasing products. So you have to write off your cost of goods sold. So let's say you bought, you know, $10,000 worth of products to resell. That's when you would start obtaining an LLC structure, to me. But anybody can obtain an LLC. A lot of people are like, oh, I gotta have an LLC. You know, nowadays everybody's like, I need an LLC. I'm doing business. But I mean, if you're not making any money, then you just need to get you a DBA and an EIN number and do business underneath that until you start bringing in an income. Because you're going to go to the Secretary of State, you're going to pay a good amount of money for that license. And you can be sitting on that license for a good while until you make some money. So I would suggest starting at not to file until I made 60,000. No, ma'am. I don't know. No, I wouldn't agree with that at all. I wouldn't wait until you make $60,000 to file as an LLC, nor 10. You know, 10 is almost like you're filing a sole proprietorship still. You know, but 60,000 is what some people make at a job. You know, you can be an LLC and you're making 25,000 1 year, and then next year you make 50. But you still have to pay for your cost. You still want to be able to write off your cost of goods sold. your capital expenses. You want to write off any insurance that you may have had. And then two, I think the client had talked about that too, your quarterly taxes. So you're going to be, to me, you want to utilize the designation that's going to reduce the tax liability for you. So the LLC or the S Corp is the two designations that can reduce your liability. And I would say filing those taxes quarterly, like what LaQuonia had touched on, is very needed, especially if you're in network marketing. I used to do network marketing at one point as well, so I'm very familiar with it. And you do have to pay those taxes. You're going to make a lot of money. And if you're just sitting there stacking the money and not paying into the taxes you owe, you're going to get a lump sum bill at the end of the year. I recently just got a client that randomly contacted me because they had got a lump sum bill and they were shocked at how much taxes they owed, but they should have been filing quarterly throughout the year. So it's all the late fees and all of that. No, I'm an LLC and close about taxes when I get to $10,000. I mean, you can definitely file taxes when you get to 10,000, but you should be filing them regardless. Even if you haven't made 10,000, if you made $500, if you made $1,000, you should be reporting that income and taking any necessary write-offs for the expenses that you incurred operating that business. So let's say you are a network marketer and you purchase your supplies, or you're paying like a monthly installment. Every month you're paying, your company $50 or $100 to stay as a member of that company. Those are expenses that you write off. You have to pay for your back office. You have to pay for supplies. Those are expenses you write off. And then in turn, you that helps reduce your tax liability if you work a job and run a business. But two, you have to keep in mind not writing off too much. If you only made $10,000, you don't want to write off $8,000 worth of income. Now you only at $2,000. Right. You know what I'm saying? So everything has to be watched and measured. So, and that's why it's good to sit down with a tax professional or a CPA so that they can explain to you the advantages of writing your taxes off, and then start giving you some tax planning advice, which is what I do as well, so that you're prepared, now before the next year comes, how to handle your taxes so that you're not stuck with a big bill, come January of that next year.
And let me add, I got some questions too. I know I got some questions. I'm a teacher, but I'm a student too.
Yeah.
So, some questions that I have and that I typically get from my clients and my students is, one thing that is really important is not commingling your funds. And so a lot of people don't even know what that means. And so me personally, this pandemic has been absolutely amazing for me. Like I try to see the positive in everything. And so one thing that I did this year is I separated my funds. Like I didn't have an LLC until this year. I had been a sole proprietor and doing the Schedule C and stuff like that. And that was the reason why I got that $43,000 tax bill, because I just was not educated. And so one question that I have personally is that, okay, now that my money is going to my business account.
Okay.
So there is a point where we should start paying ourselves out of our business account. And so how would somebody go about, because I know a lot of my clients, they ask me this, like, okay, do I need a business account? Like how, because they got their work check and they network marketing income and everything is just going into this one account when that is not how it should be. So can you touch on the importance of making sure, and that's what the LLC is for you to separate yourself from your personal finances, where somebody sues you, they can only take what your business is worth and not your personal income. And most people don't even know that is the importance of an
LLC. I'm an employee of my LLC.
So what are the steps that you would say somebody should take with paying themselves? Like how would they say, okay, I made $10,000 this month. How would they go about starting to put themselves basically on payroll?
On payroll. Yes, and that is very important. I suggest that any business owner, if you have an LLC, because most sole proprietors are just independent contractors, but if you have an LLC, it would be very advantageous for you to payroll yourself through your company's business bank account. So maybe you bank with Chase and you have a business account and a personal account. You would payroll yourself through that Chase business account directly to your payroll. And what I would suggest too is that you always put at least 20% back into the business. So let's say you did make $10,000, then 20% of that stays with the business and you pay yourself out of that. Now, every business is different. Depending on what it is you're doing, you may need to put more back into the business because you may have to replenish inventory, or you may have to pay some employees and not including yourself. So it really just depends on what kind of business that you have. But you should absolutely be payrolling yourself. My favorite to utilize is a 1099. It's the most simplest for the startup business owner because you're not going to have to withhold any taxes, federal taxes, or Social Security or Medicare. So it's very hard for a small business owner that's really just getting to going. And I'll tell you, I messed up years ago when I first started. I thought I was supposed to be W-2ing myself, and I was paying all this money. Ended up being in a loss. So I'll tell you, you want to 1099 yourself. And then once you start earning over that six-figure range, into the 500,000 or more, then you can start W-2ing yourself. But right now, as a small business owner, I suggest a 1099 for all of the income you incur. Then you go back and you file that on your personal taxes under your Schedule C, as well with your LLC filing as well. But you file that income that you incurred on your 1099 on your actual 1040 tax return.
So
I do get that with
two separate tax returns. They should have a business tax return.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, a business.
Well, no, you can actually do them together. So you can file your 1099 as your income. So that's your 1099 income that you receive from your business. Then you file a Schedule C, and that Schedule C is what you actually report your expenses and write-offs on for the business. But LLC can file it on one form. The S corporations and the C corporations have to file an 1120-S. So the bigger the corporation, then you start filing different forms. So right now, as an LLC, which I think that's majority of the people that are on our audience right now, you just file a standard 1040, and you add a Schedule C on to that.
And that's a good thing that you brought up your a point when you're paying that, when you were talking about employees. When you have those employees and when you have those independent contractors, you have those payroll taxes that you got to pay quarterly for taking with those W-2 people, and that add up. And it's a lot of headaches. You got to make sure if they stay up under that 40 hours, or if they go over 40 hours, you got some more stuff. Some more stuff that you're required to do. So like you said, I have myself as an independent contractor through my company. So I filed that any income that I have that I've made through the position through my company, I pay myself through that. I filed that 1099 showing that I paid myself through my company, and then I take that 1099, like you said, and file that on my personal. Yes. Let me see. I don't know if this was a question. Is this a question? Oh, no, here is a question. This was a question. If the LLC is an S or C corp, they're filed on their own return, right?
So if an LLC is an S or C corp, that depends on if you have members. So does your S corp have members? So if your S corp has members, then you file whatever percentage of the company you own on your taxes, your personal taxes. that S corp is designated for each member. A C corp, you have to file an 1120-S as you and your partners, one actual document. But if you're an LLC, just a sole LLC, you file a standard 1040. And then if you're an S corp, you file a percentage of the profits of the company on your personal taxes. So it really just depends on what type of designation you have and how many members are a part of the company. It's several ways to go about doing it, just depending on how your company's set up.
Buchi, are you saying something? We can't hear you.
You having a whole conversation on
We
mute.
can't hear you. We see you talking, but you muted. Oh, I can't unmute you. You got it muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Was there a question for me?
We see you talking, so we thought you were saying something.
Oh, no. You know, let me get off the screen. It's a client.
Oh, okay. 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 So that was a good question. As far as do they have to file? Because a lot of people, when I found myself when it was time for me to file my taxes, because like I have an LLC and it's classified as an S corp. And I was making some income at the time when I went to the person to file my taxes. Now, and I should have probably took my stuff and just left when I asked them if I needed to file an 1120 or 1120S, and they asked me what that was. I probably should have left.
You should have ran up out of there. You should have.
I probably should have, but I went on and let them file my taxes. And girl, I had to go back and fix it. But a lot of people don't know that when you have your business and you have it actually established, S corp, C corp, whatever, partnership, whatever, that you actually, it then become two different types of taxes that you have to file. You have your business over here, then you have your personal. But a lot of people don't know that. And you'll be surprised. I know people that's been in business for years and they have never filed a business return.
Right.
They have not filed. A lot of people in Texas don't even know when you get your business established, you then have to go to, you have to also take care of the Texas Comptroller's office. Pay
those franchise tax fees. Or they will garnish their wages, freeze your bank account.
Yes, they don't know that. So I felt like it was really important for us to come in here and talk about like some of the things that we didn't know starting out that we now know that some people may not.
Yeah. And financial literacy, unfortunately, is not taught in school, but it is the most important subject.
Yes.
So if you are wanting to start a business, before you come to me and talk about marketing or anything, you need to know your financial literacy. You need to get with somebody that is really sharp in that area, because that can make or break your business. That cute logo and that website and none of that is going to matter if you do not have your affairs in order. And that was a hard lesson. A lot of times, us as Black entrepreneurs, we spend a lot more money than what we have to, because we're cleaning up messes that we really didn't have to make.
Yes.
Like with myself, with my IRS debt, a lot of that was penalties and interest. And I could have avoided if I would have taken care of it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So that, like, I don't even like to talk to people.
Had a professional.
Right. And
show somebody involved.
Yeah, and people be like, oh, well, so-and-so do it for cheaper, or so-and-so charge less. I guarantee you will pay more trying to go the cheaper route.
Yes, and that's it. I found myself this year, starting out in business, like a lot of us do. Oh, I can do it on my own. and I can't. Like, I actually have business coaches now. I found a Facebook group. It's called Hush, and I got introduced to my business coach. Well, one of my business coaches, his name is Derek, and he talks about making sure that you get your foundation straight. When you, just because you, like you said, get a logo, get your website done, that doesn't make you a business. You got to, he has an acronym. He says you have to body, build, organize, document, delegate. You got to build that business from the ground up. You got to organize it. So when you get to a growth level, it's then time to take yourself away from it and pass it on to somebody that's going to run it. So you don't have to be an employee all your life, because that's the end goal for all of us.
Right.
We want to have something that we don't have to be a slave at our computer for every day, but it all starts with building the right foundation and getting everything in place: financial literacy, credit, business, and personal. And
get with your professionals. Just get with the professionals.
that's
It never fails. Even in real estate, it's the same thing. You
that's
know, everybody that's bought a house is, I guess, a real estate expert, but they're not. So you're asking everybody in the world one or two questions here and there, and you know you're getting pulled in so many different directions. Just hire a professional whenever possible. Let them go through you don't have to go through it. Let them do the meat and potatoes. Get the end result, and you go with it. Filing taxes yourself as an entrepreneur might not be the best idea for you. That structure, you want somebody assigned to that. So as you said, do the quarterly thing, because I'm guessing Miss Andrea, after the quarter, she's probably going to shoot you an email or something and let you know, hey, you know, we need those
Oh
numbers
yeah,
and do all this stuff. So now you don't even have
and
to
keeping
think
you on
about
the schedule.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Keeping things honest. So that's possible. Don't ever try to take that burden off yourself.
I agree.
I mean, technically, the your statement is right. I mean, until you trademark and copyright it, it's not yours. Anybody can take it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't like to share like their projects that they have coming out or their logos or something like that until they get it trademarked or copyrighted, because at the end of the day, if you don't have that legally secured, yes, somebody else can take it and somebody else can use it, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So when you're starting out, yes, that would be one of the things that I would recommend is you trademark or you copyright. If you're writing material, make sure you copyright it so it's yours, and that someone has to get your permission to use the stuff that you put your sweat and tears into to produce. Same thing with your logo, trademark it. You don't want to build your brand, like LaQuonia said, you don't want to build your brand and then have somebody come and take that logo, trademark it, and say, hey, you better stop using this because it's now mine. You don't want that.
And that has happened. That has happened. I know of a girl who she had this amazing business and she literally had to buy her business back because these people had come and started to use her information, you know, and it's nothing that you can, because you did not take the proper steps. All you started to do, you created a Facebook group and a Facebook page and you thought that it was yours. It's
Right.
not.
It's not. It's not. And but a lot of us, again, it goes back to us not knowing. We always, our community, you know, we all a different shade, but our community, we always find out things on the back end later. Now, had we been given this education and had our parents and our grandparents and their grandparents been given some education for financial literacy, making sure that you do this and this to set up the next generation, we would all probably be, you know,
Right.
like
Well,
some
we
other.
are the generation. We are the spark. You know, it's you are right. What you said is true. But you know, I guess part of my I guess credo or the way I like to think of things, and I also share this with my brothers. We always have our powwows. They were all in different fields. The past is the past, and that can't be changed. Nobody Financial literacy is not you don't get a teacher to teach you. You get a mentor to teach you. And if your parents don't teach you, maybe they're not in a position to. It's not their fault. It's not, the schools are not going to teach you about money. School is not going to teach you about money. School is not going to teach you how to spend it. School is going to get you ready for a job, and that's it. but they don't teach you about the money itself, the money you're making, your target. So that you learn through mentorship, you learn through listening more than speaking, you learn through, being aggressive with, mentorship, like going to somebody, you might not like them on a personal level, but you know what they're doing business wise. And like, look, how can I come under you? Are you willing to take it on? And push, actually make the push. Like, it's not something everybody's willing to do. I'm not willing to take on a mentee right now because I'm too busy doing all these refinances and stuff, but if you find that person, target that person, let that person mentor you through. It could be different mentors for different scenarios, but you're actually right. That money and how you use it and these tax things and all that, you may not have learned it in the past. It's never too late. Today you start, and we build the generational wealth that you've been speaking on when it comes to setting aside and teaching you, making sure your own offspring or the ones under you, nieces, nephews, all that, they're learning the same thing too. Like my younger brother, he's 7 years younger than me. When he first started working, he's an investment banker with Merrill Lynch. When he first started working, the first thing I told him, I'm like, look, you don't spend what you get. You don't spend what you have. I mean, you don't save what you have after you're done spending. You spend what you have after you're done saving. What you put aside, when you make that money, you take what you need, you put that aside, and then like, this is how much I really need to live for the month. Then the rest of it, if you want to splurge, that's all up to you. But you have to, those are like just little tidbits like that, because, I don't know if my dad told him or anybody else, but I'll be sure to tell him. Now, if he decides to go his own route with it, that's fine. But, credit and all this. Everything I'm telling you, I always share it openly, and that's how we grow through that information. That information pipeline is so critical to our community growth. And that's why we're doing what we're doing tonight for everybody. So, it's very important.
To piggyback on what you said, how is it that people can position their children? Like if you have a grown child, other cultures, they set their children up for success very early on. They add them as authorized users on their credit cards and things like that. We tend to, when they turn 18, like, look, get out of here, you on your out. But other cultures, they create a foundation for their children before they are pushed out into the world. And I think that is something that us as Black people have to really change. Like my daughter, I told her she'll be 21 in January. I'm like, you don't never have to leave, because I see other cultures, they get one house, they build a community, they get along, they put their money together, they open up one beauty supply, and then that person runs it, and then when that one is funded, they go and open another beauty supply until everybody has one. Like I feel like hedge funding and money together as a collective effort is something that we just don't do in our community. And also our dollar does not stay in our community as long as it should. We take our money. There's people like Aundrea who does taxes, but we rather go to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt instead of paying her.
Like, that's a big problem.
Give her my money,
and they'll pay more.
I get the same thing. I can go to LegalZoom or I can go to Inc. and they can do that. Watch it. I mean, yes, you can absolutely do that, but when, like you said, our money doesn't stay in our community, we can never get to how the other cultures build up their community, because we're so busy tearing each other down. We don't want to see each other succeed.
It's not even just a tearing down. It's I would say one thing is I watched this video that made me really sad a while ago, where it was a marketing. When you're newly hired, I guess you watch these training videos on. It was a retail a department store, and it was from the '60s, and they were talking about how to market, things to the Black person and branding and all that, liking brands. And I'm looking at what made me really sad was that you don't need to even update that video.
It's still the
hit
same.
play. It's still the same till today. So I also tell people, like people younger than me or people that ask for my advice, right? Start figuring out, even with your likes, start figuring out what you really like, because chances with our community, we find that you see a lot of people that like things just because they were marketed to like it. Whereas with other communities, they've broken out from that. They're truly themselves. They dress how they want. They buy what they want. The things that make them happy make them personally happy, or maybe their significant other. But they're not doing things to make other people happy and sacrificing that real deep internal happiness. So that's one way to save money or spend wisely when you are picking a passion for your, entrepreneurship. Those things, you should try finding a way to base that on you, or make it a very personal thing. Try to it's almost impossible in the world we live in today, mind you, because we're being marketed to like no other generation has ever been marketed to before. We get marketing on these machines every single second of the day. Back in the day, you had to tune on your TV or open a newspaper after walking to the stand to get marketed to. It's different now. So you really have to create that filter for yourself and stop letting this false community judge you, because we are the majority of Black people. We are very sturdy minded people. We are very driven, but sometimes we can get beat down by a few things, or wanting stuff basically just because you want to attain a certain status. But you already have that status. That status is in you. It's nobody else is going to give you that award. Nobody else is going to give you that status. That comes from you and how you feel in here. That's your status, So that's when you start thinking like that. That's why you can service your community better, because the hard money itself is not really the biggest factor, because the money will roll in, and you'll be surprised at how the money will just be churning itself once you get out of that mindset and get into your own personal mindset. So
Goes a lot on self-esteem. I know we didn't get the question on here, but I get the question all the time of like, how should I price my services? How much should I charge? And your pricing, for one, is a direct reflection of your self-esteem as a business owner. Like, I know that I'm not affordable to a lot of people, and I'm okay. I'm okay because I know the value that I provide. So I base my prices on the value I provide and not the affordability of the other people. And so a lot of times, us as Black entrepreneurs, we judge who we should actually give our money to on if they got Gucci or Louis Vuitton or what. And I could absolutely go out and show those things because I like nice stuff. I buy those things, but I don't use those as a marketing tool because it's a double-ended sword. When I'm posting my red bottoms on social media, I think that I'm inspiring people, but I'm really making the woman who is really struggling and want to be successful, I'm making her like, why me? Why not me? Like, why can't I have it? So we have to change the way that we market to our people to uplift them. There's a lot of fake women empowerment going on, and I hate that, because the things that we should be really showing, we're not showing that. We're not looking with value. We're not providing substance. We just saying, girl, I got this new Louis Vuitton. I got these red bottoms. I got this and that. And that's not showing her how to get to the next level. And so to be that chick, and a good tool of being an entrepreneur is being able to check yourself and saying, girl, you was out of line for that. You weren't doing what you were supposed to do. When I was showing all of that stuff, I thought that I was encouraging and uplifting, and when reality, I was discouraging more than I was encouraging. So we have to focus on the meat and potatoes of being business owners and not the show business. Like you said, there's a lot of show business going on and not enough real business.
And that's where the pitfalls that people go into when it comes to social media, especially picking the wrong kind of mentor because of just based on flash and stuff like that. And the social media realm, it will kind of get you sucked in, and it's a great tool to have. You can really use it to your advantage and monetize it, but it can also be a very destructive force. It's something that, and when you start seeing things and, being, I guess, ambitious in the wrong type of way, that's when you start looking for shortcuts, and then those shortcuts become pitfalls. So you really want to challenge yourself and grind and, you know, feel the grind, enjoy the grind, because it's something you took on, you wanted to do it, you challenged yourself. So sometimes where, you know, when you're in that situation where you're spending what, you know, for your business, you know, you should smile at it. You know, like I find situations where I feel like when I'm investing, I get more pleasure investing my money or spending my money on like new stuff for my office and stuff like that than I will buying, you know, a nice pair of sneakers. I like good sneakers. I like good shirts and all the designer stuff too. I love all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, but the pleasure is probably that day. After the next day, it's just somewhere in the closet and that's it. But when I invest, or you know, I closed a great deal and I just took all that money, I just gave it to my younger brother. I'm like, hey, you know, but once the stocks drop, because they will, you know, lockdown, you know, buy, and just seeing that for me is more rewarding than just, you know, than these material things that are not, you know, you want to buy things that bring value. You don't want to keep buying things that lose value. There are a lot of things that we buy as a community. It's just steady losing value. Even if you're into sneakers or red bottoms or, you know, bags, you can monetize that because, you know, look at the resale value from what I've started seeing. A lot of people are not even investing in the standard way. They're investing with, you know, some of these goods because people, the want is driven so high now that they're finding a way to resell and do what they need to do. But start buying things that are more assets to you than losses. Spend your money on things that will gain you money more or first than things that would just stay there and lose money for you. You know, buying a nice car is nice. You can market yourself with that car as well. That's nice. But you drive out with that brand new car, you've lost $6,000. So why, you know, whereas you could have taken that money and invested in infrastructure for your business, you could have invested in marketing for your business, you could have invested in the growth of your business, you could have invested in people and have those people spread your message. You know, so that's where you should start targeting how you use your funds are very crucial, because that little, it might be little, but all those little funds that you blow every day come together to be a lot of money. Like one year I saw how much I spent in restaurants and I wanted to beat myself up. I literally wanted to give myself a black eye, you know, for real. And I was like, no, this can't be it. At the end of the year, while I was doing it felt like nothing. Honestly, like you swear you put your card on the little tray and let them know you're good. But when I saw at the end of the year, when I actually got with an accountant and started like looking at my finances on every single aspect, just spread out, I was embarrassed. You know, when I was in my 20s and I started thinking about how much I'd spent in clubs, I was embarrassed again. You know, because when I got into the housing market, I was like, look, that money I would have had a whole street right now. You know, but then again, it wasn't a bad experience, because what it is a learning experience. You know, I'm not gonna go back to that trend. There's always time. Now, what do you do moving forward? Now you know these things. That's the key. You know, so you know, I would say maybe one less steak dinner every, you know, month or so, and that's that helps out.
Right. Look, I always to touch on like what you guys just said. I always LaQuonia, when you say leading with value, and being your authentic self. I don't know any way other than any other way to be than myself. And I always tell my personal journey, like a couple of months, I think it was a couple of months ago, I did a video and when I bought the house, and a lot of people sent me some messages in my inbox because they didn't know I had a criminal background because I'm such a nice person. They didn't know that I was, you know, I have a little temper sometimes. That
you do, you're a sweetheart.
I am.
Oh, goodness. I don't believe you.
Good. Please don't. But you know, I have. But and you know, it's been times where you know, I was embarrassed to not of telling people that I had a background, because I felt like as a business owner they would want to deal with me because I have a background. But now I'm okay. My business coach, he in one of his lives he said, as a business owner, you have to be okay with turning down money. because everybody money is not good. It's gonna cost you.
Everybody is not your client.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was
I mean,
the hardest lesson. That was the hardest lesson that I had to learn, is that everybody is not my client. And when I learned that, it was like the weight of the world was lifted off of my shoulders. I can be myself. Like, I used to show up posting Bible quotes and all this stuff on my page, knowing that I will cuss you out, for real. And so I started showing up as my authentic self. And when I began to show up as my authentic self, it's like people begin to gravitate to me. People know on my Facebook, they know that there's two people on my account. There's LaQuonia and then there's Peaches. And you never know who you're going to get on which particular day. But because I've shown up as my authentic self, my audience, they love that. They are really drawn to me because they know LaQuonia is about her business, but Peaches don't play. And so who you get is going to be based on how you come to me and what kind of energy that you give. And so that's important, like being your authentic self and using your past. I tell my students, use your past as your passport and not your prison, because you sharing your story is what is going to make people gravitate to you and say, girl, you know what? I didn't know that you dealt with depression. I didn't know that you were suicidal. Like, when I started to share those things that I was embarrassed about, more people came to me and said, you know what, here, how much do you charge for coaching? How much will it be for me to get on a call with you? Can I fly in and spend a weekend and you teach me? Like, it literally changed the game for me. So I show up every day as myself. And I mean, it has been the game changer in my business. Like, a lot of people are showing up as who they feel like people will give their money to. Like, you got on this two-piece suit, and that's not who you are. If you want to wear Jordans, wear Jordans. Like, don't try to dress it up, because honestly, people that you are trying to impress, they're not gonna spend no money with you. They're not.
There are more people that are similar to you than are not,
Yeah, a lot of us share the same experiences, but we too afraid to put that out there because we're not wanting to be judged. But we have to
judge regardless. If you lose or if you win, people are still not going to like you. So why not show up as your authentic self? It's people.
Not all clients are for you. Not all clients are for you. You see, what you just said about yourself, and that kind of tells me that the kind of go-getter you are. And you may be that might be a good filter. Showing who you truly are, might be a way to filter bad business away. Pricing yourself properly is also a way of creating, filtering off the money that's not good money. There's sometimes where I'll give a quick example. Mr. Toya's cousin is a very good friend of mine. He Kevin flips a gray house flipper. If you ever need a renovation,
his cousin as well.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go. If you ever need any renovation, whoever's watching, if you ever need any renovations or any home, you need a flipper, you need anything, talk to that man. He knows his stuff. He learned. He learned. But the one thing is, I had a client that needed construction with a rehab style purchase rehab loan, and she didn't know what she was doing. She lives out in California. Now, I know Kevin is a very busy man, but I was like, okay, I have a person that does this, and maybe he might take you on, he might help you. Ask nicely. And I told Kevin, I'm like, all right, go ahead. Can you talk to this client, see how you can help her or not? And he was kind of battling it because he's not used to working with other people. He's been an entrepreneur his whole life. You guys know him very well. So he's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, dude, don't even. Oh yeah, I'm like, dude, don't bother. Look at your time. Look at what you can do. If you can work with this lady once a week, and your time is very expensive, bill accordingly. Is for her to turn down, or worst case scenario, she says no, you really didn't want to do the work anyway, and that's fine. But if you're gonna do the work, you got to be honest to the timing that you give for the client, and you have to be honest to yourself and make it worth your while. And that would help you filter out a lot of the bad business by one, being your true self. So because you attract your target audience being that way. And secondly, pricing yourself right. don't be, when it comes to business, family and business might not be the best. So when you're pricing, take your head out of everything and look at your time. Your time is the most valuable asset you have. So monetize that time accordingly based on, based on the business, not on your personal needs, like, oh, I need to buy this new thing or whatever, but based on the business, like to grow the business and, that time sacrifice, what is it worth? So that those two things I think will help any entrepreneur, being true to yourself so that you can target the right audience for you and pricing yourself properly. Like, so, and sharing your experiences. It doesn't, it makes you smarter.
People don't know how to separate their emotions from their business. Like LaQuonia, I know she one of those people. Like, oh, she's a yellow personality. She want to save the world. She want to help people. But we do this for two reasons: to impact the world, but we also have to, you can't deplete yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. And that was one of the hard lessons that I had to learn. And it really allowed me to start charging what I was worth, because I'm like, I'm doing all of this work and I'm helping so many people and they're telling me how great I am, but I'm still broke. I still can't pay my bills. My light bill still due, but I've helped so many people. And so you either want to have a business or you want to have a nonprofit organization, and you have to make a decision on which one of those. You want a 501c3, then you need to formulate that 501c3. Right. But if you want to secure the bag, you need to build your business.
Yes, baby. Look, I like that. I like that analogy. Look, okay. I don't. Eventually, down the line, once this for-profit corporations takes off, I'll put nonprofit. But right now, I need the profit.
Yeah.
You know what, you guys? I really enjoy. I know we said yesterday we was gonna keep it at an hour, but it was so good.
Amazing.
I love it. I am so thankful to have you guys. To have you had. I can't even talk, to have you guys participate. Because like I said, I was nervous because this is my first, not my first. Aundrea, we did a Facebook Live panel last year, but this is something that was bigger than that, and that was going to reach a lot more people as far as like our target people like us. So I'm really thankful, and thank you guys again for taking the time out and being in here with me and giving all these wonderful people your good information. Again, you guys, if you want to get in contact with LaQuonia for assistance, coaching in multi-level marketing, here's her contact information. You can email her. If you are looking to purchase a home, you can get in contact with Buchi. That's his information, his telephone number and email address. And look, Aundrea has so many hats. If you need some clothes, because she has online, if you need business credit, business funding, business taxes, personal taxes, here's her information, her email address, telephone number. You guys get in contact with her. Mr. Junnell, he did have to leave. He had another meeting, but if you need some insurance, that's his contact information. Make sure you guys hit him up. And last but not least, if you guys need some assistance with business support services, whether it's getting your business formation, getting your EIN, DUNS number, if you need assistance with credit repair, that's my contact information scrolling down on the bottom. Get in contact with us. I have some information that I'm going to be posting when it comes to some call to actions for us. If you guys want to get in on that, I'm going to drop the link on this video live. You guys can join the JCD Forward Business Clients page. This is where our next lives is going to be going into that particular business page. But if you guys have enjoyed the information that we have provided tonight, make sure that you join that Facebook group business page. Again, I'll put the link after this live in the comments so you guys can click on it. But thank you guys again. I'm going to give you back the rest of your night. I really enjoyed talking to y'all.
Yes, this was great.
Thank you, ladies.
Much
I must say, I really appreciated each and every one of you. Your wealth of information is just, I mean, your community would, benefit grossly from you. Miss LaQuonia, you're not just coaching for multi-market, you're coaching every entrepreneur.
Right.
Take that networking stuff out. Every entrepreneur, you want to start a business, you need a mentor.
You need to
Talk
be a
to Miss LaQuonia.
motivational speaker.
Go ahead, get it.
If you pick your niche, you'll get rich. So I know that
I see what you're doing with the niche thing. I see you talk, and we spoke on it. The target audience, women, that marketing. I know what you're doing. But at the end of the day, that wealth of information, spread it. The target audience is yours, but man, I learned from all of you today, and I'm here trying to give the little knowledge I know. So it was very informational to me. So thank you guys for allowing me to be part
when
of
are we
it.
going to put together a conference where they have to come? They need to pay to come and get the real side.
We're talking monetizing. Okay. Christmas is on the way. We need to start buying gifts.
I know that's well, okay, you guys heard it. We gonna talk about it. So just keep your ears to the ground. We gonna talk about it, okay? Guys, we got some, they're saying thank you. They're saying thank you. We got some good information. I'm glad you guys stuck it out with us. I know we was on here for a long time, but hopefully you guys was able to take some of that information. Again, I'm gonna put the Facebook, let me go get it now. And let me just put it on there now. So before y'all
Make
go.
sure it's public. Last time you posted something, it was private.
The Facebook group is
that was shade. Private. That was just shade for no reason.
Don't shade me.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
Okay, so this is let me grab, I got the link. Okay. Let me find the original live. Here we go. Okay, so that is the link to the Facebook group. I just put it in the comments. So you guys, if you like I said, if you like this live, make sure you guys come on and go join that Facebook group. We're going to be talking about doing some more of these type of lives, but just keep an ear out for the details. Thank you guys again for joining us tonight. You guys have been great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good night.